Hello to all my friends out there in YouTube land. It's your good buddy Philtastic here. Welcome back to the channel. And yeah, another unboxing, or as I like to say, another episode of what the hell am I doing in my life? Anyway, we can answer these and many more life questions, but instead of doing this deep analysis and a lot of serious mature thought, let's just open up another shipment, right? So, as typical, I'm on my lunch break. I've got a box here. I'll show you the whole thing because I was actually smart enough to remove the label. Though I'll say this, it wasn't secured very well. And also do the opening of it here. Not the full opening. I'm pointing this out because I don't know that it was really done particularly well, to be honest with you. The label itself, which was in this area, was held on by two pieces of tape, both at the top, so the middle was kind of flapping open, which I point out because anytime I've sent anything out like that, the post office, and this is multiple post offices, honestly, have said to me, don't do that. So I usually just kind of cover it almost like a clear kind of laminate style. But like I said, this was held on with two pieces of tape and a lot of hope. And luckily it worked out. And this part was actually pretty easy to open. They had tape over this, but still, I don't know, didn't feel as secure as it should. But look, it got here, right? But I'll blabber a little bit before I open this up, just to give you some backstory. So, this is an homage, which you might say, hey, you say you don't like homages. That's correct. I don't, generally. But this is actually an homage to a film that I'm quite fond of, and a character that I'm quite fond of as well. Two needless pieces of bubble wrap. I'm sure there's a reason for this that I don't know, but it's just these are so flimsy, and the way that they were placed. Oh, there's three. Okay. I mean, I don't know what could possibly be doing here. Bubble wrap itself is in okay condition, not the best. Anyway, I was just saying, this is a homage to one of my favorite films from the 90s, which I say that now and realize that some people who may be watching this are probably like, that was before I was born. But now that I think about it more, according to the little analytics, which after being on YouTube for over 4 years now, yes, I remember because it was like a year before my son was born I started this. I'm finally kind of really looking at those and learning what to do. And according to the analytics, I think over like 60% of people are like around my age, so we're in good company is what we're trying to say. We're not old, we're just here. I'm at the low end of the pool for Gen X. Anyway, yeah, no, this is for a movie I've seen many times. When I was in high school, I actually did some artwork that kind of centered around this movie. Maybe I'll show that off one day if I could pull that out of the old portfolio there. Yeah, this is an homage cover that I actually enjoyed, and this was actually, now that I think about it, it was produced around the time the film was coming out, or came out rather. So it was kind of like before homage covers became a thing, I guess you could say. Yeah, and again, for the record, there are homages I like, usually not comic cover homages. I know all the Marvel hip-hop covers I enjoyed until it was like, hey, we're going to put this one out so you can pay $200 for this. No. One of my favorite homage covers I unboxed. It was, it's the Gen 13 #1. That's the homage of the Janet Jackson cover. If you're of the same mind set and age as me, you probably remember or know exactly what I'm talking about now. I'm filming this the first Monday in June, just to give you, again, some foresight. Anyway, this bubble wrap was held together with a little piece of tape, teeny. So it was there. It was basically holding on to it just like that. Like you just kind of put your hand out. Since we're talking Gen X, it's kind of like if you remember the show Daria, when it was doing the opening credits and you saw her playing, I think it was volleyball, and she was just, yeah. So why don't we call this a Gen X unboxing? Anyway, so the bubble wrap is just kind of falling off. No effort whatsoever with pulling off this bubble wrap. Anyway, this is a, look, I'm going to be honest with you, this is not a book that's going to be one where years from now, when my collection is being either liquidated or reviewed, and people are saying, "Oh wow, this is something," you know, this is something that really was worth preserving. This is one that I haven't even looked to see what the raws were, to be honest with you. It's just the slab was so cheap. I was like, okay, might as well. Again, it's a cover of a film, a movie poster that I like. Looking at it, there's actually a lot of little Easter eggs in here that I'll point out as well. For a character that I like, I don't collect her. There you go. Little clue. Her run whatsoever. I have the more recent volumes, the ones that people generally don't look favorably on. But this goes back to the 90s, and actually, this was written by, actually, I was wrong, it's not her book, it's somebody close to her, which I probably gave it away here. Yeah, this is actually a story written by Peter David, whom we just lost about a week ago at this point. And he had a seminal run on this book, The Hulk. So it's an Incredible Hulk book. This is from May, my birth month, there we go, of 1996. And this is the Incredible Hulk number 441, a Pulp Fiction homage cover. So the cover itself is done by Angel Medina and Robin Riggs. I'll be honest with you, I'm not crazy about how She-Hulk looks on the cover. Maybe it's more of a 90s thing. Oops. Everything's okay. Maybe that's more of a 90s kind of look here. But they did what they can do as far as, you know, really what Marvel, I think, would let them do. So 1996, this was way before Joe Quesada took over. And I'll point out some of these little Easter eggs as we go on here. So if you're familiar with the Pulp Fiction cover, movie poster, you may know it's Uma Thurman smoking a cigarette on a bed in a rather alluring pose, why don't we say, with a book saying Pulp Fiction down on the bed itself. I'll show a picture of that too, just in case you're not familiar. And if you're not familiar, go watch it. You may or may not get it at this point. You know, like, get it in here if you haven't seen it already. But it's a good film nonetheless. Many tout as one of the best American films. I don't know about that. I'd have to think about that more. But let me just point out a lot of things. So Uma Thurman, as I may have said, because I don't remember what I just said, was smoking a cigarette on the original movie poster. Here, they didn't do that. And this is why I pointed out Joe Quesada. She's got a celery stick that she's chomping on. And I mentioned Joe Quesada because you may or may not know, after Joe Quesada took over as editor and whatnot at Marvel, the first thing he did was got away with everybody cigarette smoking, including Wolverine. I get it, and is it that important to me? I don't know, not really. Anywho, and then some other things in here. So, for example, you look in the back, you've got a Fantastic Four lamp, complete with a Thing lamp base, as you see my steering wheel. It looks like an X-Men, I want to say it's like a fleece blanket, but it's the blanket here. She's got, if you look very closely, a Spider-Man pendant on her necklace. What else do we have here? Oh, we have a Punisher. I don't know if that's a pillow or a blanket. It looks like a pillow there. And there's also a Captain America pillow right here that she's leaning on. and it looks like a plastic squirt gun here. I don't know if that's an homage or a callback to anything in particular. Not the ultimate nullifier. I don't remember a gun, to be honest with you, and I'm just trying to think of it mentally now. On the original Pulp Fiction movie poster, I'll have to take a look at that, but you'll know before I do, because again, I'm going to presumably remember to put that up here too. Overall, like I said, it's a nice kind of Pulp Fiction throwback here. Very nice. Oh, and she's reading a book that says Hulk Fiction instead of Pulp Fiction. That's cool. I think because it is an early homage cover and it is from a popular movie, people, that's why it's not that it's sought after, but I think that the average price is going for more than it probably should. Because I'll be honest, I don't think anything of importance actually happens in this book. It says She-Hulk appearance, Pulp Fiction movie poster cover homage. That's all. You know, honestly, it could be just 20 pages or so of just this, for all we know. But I'll have to check that out on the Marvel Unlimited app. I've been trying to read slabs or whatnot that I've purchased online. Basically, so I'm not just buying this just to have it as an extra thing in the house. I'm actually reading it as well, just in a different form. But overall, I like the book. Again, She-Hulk's face looks a little bit different to me. I don't know if Angel Medina, and apologies if Mr. Medina is watching, I'm not trying to criticize it. I don't know if he's trying to emulate Uma Thurman's kind of pout there. Maybe that's why She-Hulk's face doesn't quite look like She-Hulk, at least in my eyes. But look, I appreciate the cover. I like it, or else I wouldn't have purchased it. And I look forward to adding it officially to the collection. So, road to 1K giveaway. Why don't we do hashtag Uma? So you probably thought I was going to do hashtag Pulp. No. Hashtag Uma. For your entry into the road to 1K giveaway, which we're getting close. Not going to lie. How close? Like, I think at this point, I'm within, I think it was at 757, I want to say. And I'm not somebody who likes to look at the numbers because they tend to be a little, I don't know, I get too depressing if I'm depressed about that, if I'm looking at, oh, nobody's watching this and that and that. But no, we're doing pretty well, actually. So by the time this airs, you may or may have not hit that 1K mark already and done the giveaway. But until then, I'll leave you like I always do. Thanks again for watching. Thumbs up, comment, subscribe, notifications. Peace, love, and comics. Take care.